I want to take a minute before we start this next fly time video and just thank everybody for the support. Normally our fly time videos tank, and this one did not tank. So we did the previously we did the flashback stone. Coming up we're going to do, and this one we're going to do the what I got down as the Steelhead Pheasant tail. Yeah, well, we always called it the infected pheasant tail, but I thought calling it the Steelhead Pheasant tail would be a little bit more polite. But I just want to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. Thank you. Please keep having your buddies subscribe to the channel because it really helps. And in the comments below, if there's a fly you'd like to see tied or a fishing technique you'd like to see demonstrated, put it down in the comments. And keep adding comments, keep adding likes, because it really helps. So thanks for the support, and geez, support this one too, just as well as did the last one, please. Anyways, I'm done gabbing. Let's get on with the tying. This particular fly pattern, I have in the past called it the infected pheasant tail. However, for this video I am calling it the Steelhead Pheasant tail, just because I figured the Steelhead Pheasant tail name is a little bit more polite. But normally this fly has been known as the infected pheasant tail. Basically the name came from the bright colored belly on it. So, however, it's also a very effective, very easy to tie steelhead nymph, and often when you're fishing these nymphs for steelhead time, we do go through a fair amount of them, so it's nice to have an effective pattern that's easy to tie. Well, let me get on to tying this thing. Okay, the materials for this fly is pretty straight up. Obviously your favorite hook. In this case I got a 1760 in 10s. Pheasant tail. Your favorite black fly tying thread. In this case I got some orange glow chenille for this fly. Any color, you can play around with various colors. And some medium copper wire to tie everything in place. Very straightforward, not a lot of fancy materials on this one. And of course, all your fly tying tools. This time we got the spot focus in. Alright, we're going to make an attempt at tying this guy again. Hopefully I got the camera working right. So, as it is, like as the name says, infected pheasant tail, we use a lot of pheasant tail to tie this. I'm starting to chew on this thing. So, I'll show you how where I find the materials on this and what I like off in this piece. It's an excellent example to work with. And obviously the hook here is that 1160, and I'm tying it on a size 10, so hopefully it's big enough we can see everything I'm doing without too much trouble. And I'm going to try to keep my material working right back into here so you can see how I handle the materials. It's a very straightforward fly, easy to tie. My favorite black fly tying thread. The biggest thing with these things is we can crank them out, and very often when these things are on, we can go through a bunch, so it's nice to have an easy to tie. Alright, for the tail, I'm going to go right up at the top here because I always like this brown fuzzy tip ends. That's always my favorite, but the problem is we got this nice long stuff down here, which I like to use for the back part of the main part of the fly. So I come up in here and I'll use some of the shorter stuff up here for the tails and the wing case. Get a nice little gob, probably, I don't know, probably 6 or 8 of these things, a dozen of them, because it is a big fly. And if we got a couple short pieces, I'll smooth them all out. And excuse the squeaky chair, I haven't oiled it yet. Tie that in. Now I keep my tail on this a little long. Usually want them about half the hook shank. Sometimes they come a little longer, but you can see I'm coming all 3/4 of the way up the shank on this. That's fine. Fold over. The reason why I'm folding it over and doubling back is I want to build up a little bit of volume on the body here because I like to have some chunk on the thorax. I'm going to go and put in some wire, some fine wire. I use either fine or a medium wire, whatever I have on hand. Now the color on this thing is this is a ultra wire, and they're saying it's a wine, kind of a bright reddish copper in my eyes. Copper wire, wine. You play around the wire you want, but it's more. What's important is you put wire on it, because pheasant tail is very fragile and it breaks easy. Now I'm going to come back into here. We got these long pieces. I'm going to grab probably at least a dozen. You gotta play around with the volume you want to work with what's gonna be easy. And once again, I'm keeping them all bunched up. I'm gonna go to the front. And if I tie the very tips and one is they're uneven, second thing, they invariably break on me. So I just nip the tips off so I get some structure to work on too. Now tie that on, kind of along the side. Bring the thread back up. And then I'll just butt wrap the thorax up. And here we go. And leave it up there. Come back, counter wrap the copper wire. If I wrap the same direction as I wound the pheasant tail, the wire has a tendency to fall in between the wraps. Then you lose the use of the wire. If you counter wrap, it does two things. One is you can get the little sparkles and the flash off in the ribbing. Second thing is it'll go over the top of your material, your pheasant tail, and give you the structural integrity that you need. Now I could fold this back and do it because it's long enough, but what I want to do is cut it and show you how I build a regular wing case when I'm being snippy with my materials. Because I'll go back up into here where it's short and grab another section, and I'll grab a good dozen, 15, because I like a nice fat wing case, and I'll fold it over. Now we're tying nymphs, and there is a little bit of a kind of get rid of this weak stuff here. There is what I refer to as the laws of physics of nymph tying that nobody really talks about. The structure on the fly says, get my wing case tail out of the way, you want to go 2/3, 1/3. No, go 50-50, because when you get done, the fly's magically 2/3, 1/3. It's kind of one of those things there. If you try to tie in 2/3, 1/3, it ends up 3/4, 1/4. Now, what I did with this is a glow chenille, kind of a medium orange glow chenille, and I did take some of the fuzzies off here, so I don't know if you can see that. So basically I can tie in, because I strip off the end there, that way you get a nice neat tie in, and you can have control over the volume. 1 turn, 2 turns, about 3 turns, 3.5 turns is all you need. Tie that down, secure it, bring the wing case over, kind of flatten it out, pull forward, couple of loose wraps, bring it down, and then tie it over. And then I pull the sides back to create the wings or legs. They kind of sit off back, kind of like outriggering wings. Tie it off here, and then just kind of grab a hold of it, come in underneath there, and just clip it behind the wing case. And there we go, a real quick, easy to tie infected pheasant tail. Really good winter nymph. We catch a lot of fish on it, like works really good late November, December, when there's still some eggs in the system, and then usually when we start getting that high water spring runoff, we're getting some eggs knocked back and drift, let's say in the spring in a high water event, this thing can become productive again. Works really good, especially even in spring steelheading when the fish get a little crabby. Great option. Of course, easy to tie and effective. Hope it works for you. Well, been a lot of beeping down here and everything else. I don't remember which direction it came out of, kind of like that. With the smoke alarm going off, everybody's going, listening to my videos and going, I think my smoke alarm's up in the house. Running around checking their smoke alarms. So maybe I ought to change the battery in this thing. Whoopsie. Now the $10,000 question is how the damn thing goes in. There we go. Plug it back in. Hopefully. And she'll run. There, no more beeping. It was my smoke alarm that was going off that everybody was worried about. You don't have to search your house. Problem solved. No more beep. This is Jay at JPEG Guides and Lost River Fishing. We are a year-round fly fishing catch and release guide service. We fish the Lake Ontario tributaries, and then during the spring and the summer we also fish the inland trout streams, classic dry fly fishing. During the heat of the summer we will do the warm water fishing for bass and pike. If you're interested in any of our outings or have any questions, please feel free to email us at fish@lostriversfishing.com. Hope to hear from you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.